NTA News.
And back to our earlier report on ASU. We told you that the meeting between the federal government representatives and the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, scheduled to hold this Tuesday has been postponed. This is to enable the federal government study and take a position on the proposal submitted by the union. Minister of Labour and Employment Chris Ngige, while briefing the media, says ASU's letter on their new position was received after Tuesday's meeting was scheduled, which is why the union did not show up.
We have to do a government side meeting on their offer before we then have a conciliation meeting to further discuss if there are further areas of disagreement. Tomorrow is Federal Executive Council, and we will also need council approval for some of the things we are doing, what the government has decided. Thereafter, we'll then meet with ASU.
Meanwhile, correspondent Emmanuel Ayimiro, in a telephone interview with the ASU president, Professor Biodun Ogunyemi, says ASU is waiting for government's response to their new proposal, which is the only way open for the members of the union to know what next. Airlift of pilgrims for the 2017 Hajj has ended at 5 o'clock Tuesday morning, with the last flight conveying 267 persons from Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. Usman Aliu reports that pilgrims are those going through private licensed tour guide operators.
This is the last flight comprising pilgrims of private tour operators. As soon as they land in Saudi Arabia, they will commence the Hajj rite. Pilgrims like this 79-year-old Afis Shokoya believed it is a worthwhile mission to perform his religious obligation at this time of his life.
I'm very happy indeed to be one of those going to Hajj this year. And my thanks goes to my children who is sponsoring the journey.
Like him, the pilgrims are highly fulfilled that their dreams turn to reality. If not for the special consideration by Saudi authorities and intervention brokered by Nigeria's Hajj Commission, these pilgrims under private licensed tour operators could not make it for this year's Hajj.
Some tour operators were unable to get a normal scheduled flights for their passengers. And as part of our regulatory function, we have to intervene to make sure that all those pilgrims that registered with them are airlifted.
Figures we have on ground is 267, and all the 267 passengers are boarded. I am the last one out that is going to board.
This time, no pilgrim in Nigeria who made conditions, obligations and responsibilities is left out. In Abuja, Usman Aliu, NTA News.
And the federal government has declared Friday 1st and Monday 4th September 2017 as public holidays to mark Eid al-Kabir celebration. In a statement, the Minister of Interior, Abdulrahman Dambazau, who made the declaration on behalf of the federal government, congratulated Muslim faithful and urged all Nigerians to use the occasion to pray for peace, unity, prosperity and stability of the country. The minister also urged Nigerians to support the Buhari-led administration's determination to build a peaceful and harmonious nation where the rights of every citizen are protected and guaranteed as enshrined in the Constitution. Abdulrahman Dambazau assured citizens of their safety in all parts of the country as security agencies have been directed to maintain peace and protect lives and property. And turning our attention now to political matters, Honorable Oseloka Obaze has emerged the standard bearer of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, for the November 18 Anambra governorship race. A former diplomat and secretary to the Anambra state government garnered 672 votes to beat his closest rival, Dr. Alex Obiobolu, who polled 190 votes. Benson Osadebe tells us more.
The exercise, which started with accreditation of 958 delegates, was described as peaceful, free, fair, and credible. A total of 958 votes were cast, with only 2 votes declared invalid. Oseloko Obaze, Ifeanyi Oba, and Alex Obiobolu contested for the tickets, while Senator Stella Odua, John Emeka, and Ufobike Akolisa withdrew from the race. The returning officer, Governor Dave Umahi of Ebonyi State, while declaring Obaze winner, charged party faithful to work in synergy to deliver PDP in the November 18th election.
I, Mr. David Umahi, Governor of Ebonyi State, and the Chief Returning Officer for this primary, hereby declare Obaze Oseleka Henry, who having scored lawful votes of 672, the winner of this PDP primary, and is hereby returned as the candidate of the party.
Honorable Obaze commended the delegates and party faithful, promising to take the party to the government house, Oka.
To India Anambra, I promise in humility to remain focused on the campaign to turn Anambra around and deliver good governance to our people, because Anambra State deserves better.
With this development, the PDP has demonstrated its preparedness for the battle ahead in the forthcoming gubernatorial election in Anambra State. From Professor Dora Akunyili Women Development Center, Oka, Benson, Osadebe, NTA News.
You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. Apprehension heightens on the fate of the kidnapper Chukwudi Onwamadike, popularly known as Evans, as court fails to deliver judgment on his matter. Ademola, it's over to you for details.
Thank you, Laura. Good afternoon and welcome to Lagos. A federal high court sitting in Lagos has adjourned the 300 million naira fundamental right enforcement suit brought by the kidnapper Chukwudi Onwamadike, popularly known as Evans, against the Nigerian police force to the 5th of September 2017. Ken Igbeluhe has the details of the court proceedings.
Justice Abdulaziz Anka, who had earlier fixed today for judgment, said he would not go ahead when there are pending applications before him. The judge had adjourned on August 16 this year to deliver a judgment on the fundamental rights of the application filed by Mr. Evans. However, the first and second respondents, the Inspector General of Police and the Nigerian Police Force, were not represented. But the Commissioner of Police in Lagos State and the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, the third and fourth respondents, were represented by lawyers who argued that their colleagues were not served. On Tuesday, David Igbodo, a lawyer, announced appearance for the first and second respondents, saying that they did not receive any court process in Abuja and that he has served counsel to Evans the application to appear in court. In his response, counsel to Evans said he did not receive any application from the police. The judge stood down the matter for both parties to agree on a date, but when both parties could not reach an agreement on the date, Justice Anka later adjourned to September 5th to hear the matter. In Lagos, Ken Igbeluge, NTA News.
It has been 21 years down the line from 1996 to 2017 since about 150 countries, including Nigeria, signed the international treaty banning nuclear tests. Correspondent Mohammed Abdul Kadri examines compliance with the treaty against the background of the International Day Against Nuclear Tests being marked across the globe today.
The nuclear age was ignited when the United States of America exploded the first atomic bomb on 16 July 1945 in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan, to end the World War II. Other nations joined the nuclear race, resulting in over 16,000 types in the world and accounting for an estimated 2,000 explosions in over 60 different locations.
We don't want a situation, not in Nigeria, not anywhere in the world, where terrorists will be able to lay their hands on nuclear weapons.
Its devastating impacts on innocent lives, animals, and the ecosystem brought about comprehensive legal instruments to stop further development of nuclear weapons and testing.
That treaty
it has not exactly been observed in total compliance, if not for anything in what we are seeing today between North Korea and the U.S.
The 1996 treaty, which Nigeria is a signatory, bans atomic explosion everywhere on the planet, and it closes the door for the development of new ones.
Treaties against nuclear weapons should be celebrated, should be encouraged, should be appreciated.
Analysts say the sure path to a safer world so that the future generation can live without fear is to stop nuclear tests and embrace a world free of deadly weapons. In Lagos, Muhammad Abdelkader, NTA News.
Those are our top stories at this hour from Lagos. It's back to you, Laurie, for more on Nationwide. Good afternoon.
Many thanks, Ademola. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria have called for the profiling of sectors to harness those with competitive economic advantage to ensure the sustenance of the backward integration and import substitution. While decrying proliferation of ideas, the guests also called for harmonization and implementation of policies to boost the nation's economy. Lydia Sampson has details.
This is not the first time Nigeria is embarking on backward integration and import substitution as part of efforts to revamp the nation's economy. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria, however, say as good as the initiative is, environmental challenges like cost of energy and other logistic problems, as well as policy somersaults, are inimical to the sustenance of the policies. They are optimistic that if the economic recovery policy of government is pursued with sincerity, Nigeria will get it right this time around.
Let's work with these plans, but bear in mind that circumstances have changed to the point where we must keep in view trade defense mechanisms, safeguard measures, infant industry protection measures.
We need to deploy the combination of all the policies that I mentioned earlier: monetary policy, trade policy, tax policy, investment policy, and all the rest, to ensure that we target these sectors.
Because the legal framework, the requisite legal framework, is not properly in place, that is the missing link.
The guests stressed the need for review of procurement and tax policies, as well as ensure strict implementation of backward integration and import substitution policy.
The world is moving from a position where a lot of people are going to factories to produce for a lot of people. We're now getting to a position where few people using technology are providing goods and services for so many people.
What is happening to economic management team? Where are the platforms or public-private dialogue?
The guest also called for the deployment of more technology in providing services and industrial revolution in agriculture and solid mineral sectors, which can go a long way in creating employment. They advocated for the scaling up of sector-specific interventions as well as the replication of local content art in businesses in Nigeria. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Fire destroys female hostel of the Plateau State Polytechnic in Jos. Ruth has details and other stories from our Jos Network Center. Hello, Ruth.
Hello, Laurie. Thank you and welcome to Jos. Properties worth millions of naira have been destroyed in a fire that engulfed the female hostel of the Plateau State Polytechnic Jos campus. Ijoma Uzwemina.
Eyewitnesses at the fire incident said the fire started from this part. The hostel is suspected to have cooking gas cylinders, which further heightened the fire, which occurred while most of the students were receiving lectures, with few of them around but could not put the fire out. The State Fire Service were seen making frantic efforts to douse the fire that has completely destroyed the female hostel and stop it from spreading to other buildings around. The rector, Dauda Gaiman, said authority of the institution will investigate to find the immediate and remote cause of the incident. Mr. Gaiman further announced the suspension of the ongoing verification exercise in the institution. Plateau State House of Assembly Committee on Education, Abdul Adam Yanga, was also on ground to assess the level of damage.
If I go back to the State Assembly, I will now give a detailed report of what I have seen. Yes, this is an unfortunate incident. But I will call on you, please, and please, and please, just calm down. We will advise government, and government definitely will take the necessary action it's supposed to take. Okay. Yeah? Yes.
So far, no casualty has been recorded in Jos. Ijoma Ozemina, NTA News.
As part of its mandate and social responsibility to the people, the Peace Corps of Nigeria, Plateau State Command, has mobilized over 2,000 of its officers and men to patch the dilapidating 5-kilometer road that leads to Bassa Local Government Council of Plateau State. Ben Mitu now reports.
For some months now, this road, which was constructed not long ago, has been a nightmare for motorists. The Peace Corps of Nigeria, Plateau State Command, says aside keeping the peace, it is also its duty to ensure a clean environment to ease the movement of motorists whenever the need arises. The patching of road, which coincided with the monthly sanitation declared by Plateau State government, the Corps says, is also its own way of marking the safe return of President Muhammadu Buhari.
What we are doing, it is another a way of thanking Almighty God for sustaining our president. There's no way we can thank God is by helping people in the community.
To motorists who ply the road, the assistance is not only timely, but a clarion call on relevant authorities to rehabilitate the road.
It's a welcome development. You see now, government cannot do everything for you. So you need to come out and then help yourself.
When other services are looking for people to give to them, but these people are giving to people.
Meanwhile, the sanitation in Jos witnessed relative compliance by residents. In Jos, Ben Mitu, NTA News.
To enhance and promote healthcare delivery in Plateau State, the State Ministry of Health is training a team for Integrated Supportive Supervision, ISS. This, the State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Kuden Kamshak, said is aimed at achieving the goals set for the Saving 1 Million Lives Program for Resolves initiative. Ijoma Uzwemina reports.
The Saving 1 Million Lives Program Initiative for Results project of the federal government, supported by World Bank, aims at increasing the utilization and quality reproductive child's health and nutrition interventions. The scheme will further expand access to essential primary health care services for women and children and intended to be the new yardstick for measuring health sector performance in Nigeria. The Commissioner, Dr. Kuden Kamshak, explained that the scheme is divided into 2 enablers and 6 pillars, which includes improving child nutrition, immunization, malaria control, and elimination of mother-to-child transmission, among others.
We are not saying that what we have on ground is not good, but all we are trying to do is to strengthen our existing health systems.
Chairman House Committee on Health, Plateau State House of Assembly, Simon Kudu Ahile, said the performance-based program rewards federal and state governments for achieving results on key maternal and child health indicators. The manager, Saving 1 Million Lives, Philemon Dagwa, said the training will improve on information dissemination that increases focus on results rather than inputs.
Innovation that increase the focus on result and improve better awareness to working with the private sector. The private sectors are key.
Participants at the program were drawn from all state primary health care centers in Jos. Ijoma Ozemina, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Jos. It's back to you, Laurie, for the rest of Nationwide.
Thank you, Ruth. Dr. Paul Obianonso has emerged the standard bearer of the African Democratic Congress for the forthcoming governorship election. Dr. Paul, who emerged through a voice vote, was the consensus candidate of the party. Benson Osadebe reports.
The election, which was adjudged peaceful by the delegates, national chairman of the party, say ADC will bring phenomenal change in the political landscape of Anambra State if voted into power. He noted that the state has witnessed 18 years of uninterrupted democracy without much developmental strides to show for it.
If we are going to have change in Anambra State,
This is the real thing.
One of the chieftains of the party, Chief Anayarinze, reiterated the party's commitment to win the November 18th governorship election.
The Bible tells us, do not neglect the days of their humble beginning.
The party leadership called for a voice vote to authenticate the candidacy of their flag bearer. The winner of the exercise say he is coming to serve.
There will be zero tolerance for corruption under my watch as governor of Anambra State. We will have enough resources to give free education at all levels.
ADC is one of the opposition parties in the Anambra State governorship race. In Oka, Benson, Osadebe, NTA News.
And now to agriculture. Nigerians have been urged to complement the federal government's economic diversification drive in job creation and youth empowerment through skills acquisition. The appeal was made at the opening of a 2-day agro-processing entrepreneurship training scheme for Nigerian youths in Abuja. Chukunonso Mwabweze reports.
With agriculture as one of the cardinal areas of the present administration's economic diversification policy, the need for Nigerian youths to channel their strength and ingenuity towards building a robust economy through agro-business is the main thrust of this training. This initiative is at the instance of the Concerned Youth Empowerment Association of Nigeria in collaboration with the Raw Materials Research and Development Council.
It depends on how you want to grow your own experiment and your own test too, how you want the value chain to look like. So that's why we encourage you can try other things.
No nation can develop industrially without developing the basic raw materials. We have the raw materials. All that is required is to encourage these raw materials to be transformed.
There is much employment in agriculture. Let us come and use our own agricultural raw materials for the production of all these food items we've importing from outside country.
It is expected that in the nearest future, these entrepreneurs will turn from job seekers to employers of labor, thereby contributing to the growth of Nigeria's gross domestic product, GDP. In Abuja, Chukunonso Mwabweze, NTA News.
You're watching Nationwide on the NTA. Time now to take a break to bring you some messages. The news continues in just a moment.
Speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
Under no conditions whatsoever should we tolerate or excuse or justify hate speech or hateful conduct of any kind, especially where such is illegal.
There's no doubt that the resurgent push for separatism, as well as the rising cases of ethnic and religious disharmony, are all traceable to the growing phenomenon of hate speech.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
Government's initiative on poverty alleviation. What are the opportunities and how do they work? Find out on this week's edition of Tuesday Live. Tuesday Live promises to be exciting, informative, and educating. Join us.
National Council for Arts and Culture, Abuja presents 10th African Arts Crafts Expo, AFAC Expo 2017, the biggest arts and crafts expo in Africa. Theme, Nigerian Crafts, the untapped treasure. Date, 27th August to 17th September 2017. Venue, Arts and Crafts Village, beside Sheraton Hotel and Yaradua Center, Abuja. Time, 9 a.m. daily. AFAC presents a unique platform for artists, crafts dealers, manufacturers, and other stakeholders to buy, sell, and promote products from Nigeria and other African countries. For more information, please call Chinwe on 0803-321-7724, Gerald on 0802-3345-301. National Council for Arts and Culture, our culture, our pride. Otumba Olusegun Wonshewe, Director General, Announcement.
What manner of man wakes up in the morning, eats breakfast, gets dressed, and goes out with the sole purpose of duping his clients?
Where the dollar now? Make I check them now.
Now why?
Supposing if it is fake.
They are everywhere. The bad apples who spoil the rest. They can shortchange you. They also swap your good currency and give you counterfeits.
These people are criminal.
They are the bad money changers, mostly on the roadsides.
And they don't even get office address.
Honesty means nothing to them.
You know that happened like this. Where's my money?
Watch Prophet John Bull this week and see how this rot manifests, even as you laugh like never before.
Eh? Udo, come and separate us now. You're not a serious-minded fighter. By now, if I don't see a person,
Over and out.
Brought to you by Glow.
The largest data network, Glow Unlimited.
Experience the beauty of life and nature like never before. With the new StarTimes Full HD 1080p Real High Definition TV, enjoy an exquisite super slim design with a real surround sound experience. Watch the biggest blockbusters on over 200 plus channels. Available in 32 and 40 inches from 69,900 Naira at leading shopping outlets across the country. StarTimes. Enjoy digital life.
Reorganized, trained, and fully equipped. We are the new improved Nigeria Police Force. We fight crime. We bust syndicates. Whatever the crime, wherever the hideout, the Nigeria Police Force will get you busted. Stop kidnapping, armed robbery, murder, pipeline vandalism, and other criminal activities. Be productive. Be security conscious. Join the police force to secure your life and property. This message is from the Nigeria Police Force Public Relations Department.
Welcome back. This is Nationwide on the NTA. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has restated that the federal government is not in any way trying to gag the media. The minister stated this in Lagos at a parley with members of TVC editorial board. Anthony Forson reports.
Since assuming office as the Information and Culture Minister, visits to media organizations formed part of his routine, just as he remained accessible to media practitioners. And so, at TVC, it was a familiar terrain when members of the editorial board engaged him. Top on their curiosity was the impression that the federal government wants to gag the media. Then, the hate speech and fake news phenomenon.
Anybody who runs foul of the Terrorism Act will be punished, whether it's radio, television, newspapers, or social media.
On the State of the Nation, the minister chronicled the achievements of the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration. The minister gave his host detailed account of how the economy is being revived with the implementation of the Treasury single account, which has blocked leakages, the war on terrorism and corruption, as well as the implementation of the federal government's social security programs, and job creation.
It's ongoing. And you see, the important is that we start from zero. Before we came in, there was no end power. And no government in the history of this country has ever employed 200,000 unemployed graduates in one fell swoop. None. Yet the mayor doesn't want to see it. They don't want to celebrate this.
The minister assured that with professionalism as a benchmark for operation, TVC is welcomed on board as a partner in executing the Nigerian project. From Lagos, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Anambra Elders Council converged to seek way forward on the state of the nation. Chair Gonu is in Enugu with details and other reports. Chair Gonu, it's over to you.
Welcome to Enugu, Laure, and good afternoon. Another 100 winners have emerged through a raffle draw of Enugu State Traders Empowerment Scheme at Oriemene. Governor Ugwanyi, while presenting the checks of 50,000 naira each to the winners, charged them to reinvest the money into their businesses to promote economic growth of the state. Ijoma Ugweke was there.
Since the introduction of Traders Empowerment Scheme on the 21st February this year, the scheme have empowered over 700 traders from the 37 registered markets in the state, including artisans and widows. At Oriemene Market, venue of the 7th edition of the raffle draw, Governor Ifeanyi Ugwanyi said the rotation of the raffle draw gives traders the opportunity to witness and participate, considering the population of traders in the state.
Great and unwavering resolve to do all that is necessary and possible to extend the opportunity for growth and better living to every corner, to every class of people in Enugu State.
The scheme, which is intended to empower traders in the state through a monthly open raffle draw, where 100 winners go home with the sum of 50,000 naira each, also creates opportunity for people to interface with the governor on some areas that need government attention. Some key players in the area also commended the scheme, describing it as a step in the right direction towards eradicating poverty among traders. In Enugu, Ijomu Gweke, NTA News.
Anambra State Elders Council has called on the federal government to urgently initiate the process of restructuring Nigeria to meet the globally accepted indices of a progressive nation. They said the present structure of the nation can precipitate a failed state. This is part of a 13-point communique at the end of the deliberation on the state of the nation and the forthcoming general gubernatorial election in Anambra State. John Ogwejofo tells us more.
In the 13-point communique signed by the former Commonwealth Secretary General and Chairman of the Council, Chief Emeka Anyoko, former Vice President of Nigeria, Dr. Alex Ekwueme, as well as the former Governor of Anambra State, Chief Chukwuemeka Ezife, and the former Minister of Health, Dr. Tim Menakaya, the elders maintained that the underperformance of the Nigerian nation today is the transformation of the country's structure of governance from the true federalism negotiated by the founding fathers of the country during the independence to the current unitary structure occasioned by the prolonged military intervention in the governance of the country.
There is urgent need for arresting this national drift through a restructuring of the country's present governance architecture.
They condemned the painful killing of innocent worshippers at the St. Philip's Catholic Church, Ozubulu. On the November gubernatorial poll in Anambra State, the elders called for sustenance of the zoning formula as adopted by Ohaneze Ndigbo and the Association of Town Unions, ASATU, and called on candidates and their sponsoring political parties to eschew indecent language and violence in their campaigns. The council expressed dissatisfaction that representation of Anambra Central's senatorial zone is still outstanding and called on INEC to conduct the election without further delay. They, however, commended Governor William Obiano for the security of lives and properties in the state. From Amobia, John Ogwejofo, NTA News.
The Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, has presented promotion letters to about 200 civilian staff who were successful in the 2016 promotion interview conducted by the Federal Ministry of Interior, Abuja. Chinenye Nwoyo reports that the Force Education Officer, Police of Force Education Unit, Abuja, DCP Rabiu Ladodo, made the presentation on behalf of the Inspector General of Police.
According to staff of the school, before now, most of them were being stagnated on one grade level for as long as 28 years due to one reason or the other. But with the present administration, promotion interview was conducted for over 2,000 staff of the school last year, and about 200 from the Southeast Zone were successful. Presenting them their promotion letters, the Inspector General of Police noted that promotion comes from God. He urged them to put in their best to justify the gesture.
We are here to give them their promotion letters. That's what we did in all the zones of Nigeria.
Some of the staff were promoted from grade levels 9 to 10, 10 to 12, 12 to 13, and 13 to 14. It was indeed a joyous day for the promoted staff who came from police children's schools in Imo, Abia, Ebonyi, Anambra, Enugu, and other areas in the Southeast Zone.
I've been in this system for 28 years. Formally, people will be on one level for years and become frustrated.
We joined this job about 20-something years ago, and we are stagnated upon a particular level for donkey years.
It is said that to whom much is given, much is expected. It is hoped that the promotion will spur the staff to do more. In Enugu, Chinenye, NTA News.
The need to maintain infrastructure owned by both the government and private sectors in Abia State to stand the test of time has been emphasized. Eugenia Ndubisi was there.
Provision of critical needs of the citizens, such as good road network, potable water, hospitals, schools, among others, no doubt are primary responsibilities of the government at all levels. When such facilities are put in place, there is also need for those infrastructure to be maintained in order to last long and serve day-to-day needs of members of the public. Regrettably, it has been observed in Aba that most government-owned properties are in dilapidated state due to neglect by the government and wrong attitude of residents on public properties.
We find out that the roofings it has been deroofed whether by human beings or nature, and most cases too, you may not really blame government because maybe the government are not even aware of it.
NTA News visited Obohi Primary School 2 and Okigwe Road primary schools, which are in sorry state due to activities of footballers and have been left without any maintenance over the years. Bad spots and total collapse of some roads in the city are common, thereby causing hardship to some residents.
Everywhere is just a kind of an abandoned property, which is not good. I think the government should know what to do so that it will favor we masses.
They, however, appeal to the government to make it a priority to monitor and maintain its properties regularly. In Aba, Eugenia Ndubisi, NTA News.
That's the much we have from Enugu. Larry, over now to you for more on Nationwide.
Chair Gonu, many thanks. Report Just Regional says Hajj rites will officially begin on the 8th of Dhul Hijjah in Saudi Arabia on Wednesday. Part of our crew in Saudi are en route Makkah for the rites. Musbao Dan Wahab is standing by. Musbao, what's your location now and what's happening?
Thank you for joining us. We're now in Mikat en route Makkah. Mikat, by the way, means our designated location between your place and Makkah. It now depends on where you spent your previous days. For those who spent their previous days leading to Hajj, their Mikat is located at Abian Ali, just about 450 kilometers away from Makkah. So what you need to do when you get here is take a bath and put on your white garments to signal your intention and readiness for Hajj or Umrah. And this is the first of rites of Hajj and Umrah. So all of those who are already in Mecca have done this right, and it's a must for other people to join. And I have with me someone who is ready to tell us, to give us more insight about Iran. So sir, what is the significance of Iran in Hajj and Umrah rites?
The injunctions are given by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Anybody who attends this pilgrimage must carry out those functions to make the pilgrimage complete.
Is it all about white garments?
It's not all about white garment. It's a sign of purification and your willingness and readiness to actually perform the pilgrimage according to the injunction of our Prophet.
Thank you very much. And that's it. It's just for purification and to declare your intention. So that is it. Makkah is just about 450 kilometers away from here. So the next time you see me will be in Makkah, inshallah.
Thank you, Musbao. The United Nations has commended the organizational structure of the Federal Road Safety Corps, describing it as a model for other African countries. The United Nations Secretary General's envoy on road safety gave the commendation at a meeting with the acting secretary to the government of the Federation, Dr. Habiba Lawal, in her office in Abuja. Kolo Muhammad has details.
UN Secretary General's envoy on road safety said his visit to the SGF's office is to underscore the commitment of the federal government as demonstrated by support to the Federal Road Safety Corps, which has enhanced its enforcement capability and manpower. He said other African countries are already taking a clue from the technology-driven operations of the FRSC in dealing with the menace of road traffic crashes.
The important thing is the will to achieve something, the commitment.
The acting secretary to the government of the Federation, Dr. Habiba Lawal, said attaining a desired level of sanity on Nigeria's roads is a collective effort and promised government's support to the FRSC for more effective service delivery.
The biggest task ahead is advocacy and public enlightenment, so that we need to begin to see that we have significant resources in that direction to support the work we do.
The envoy also held separate meetings with the Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Folorunsho Adewole, and that of Works, Power and Housing, Babatunde Raji Fashola, where he called for more collaborations towards achieving greater sanity on the roads. The Corps Marshal, Boboye Oyeyemi, gave assurance that the Corps will remain committed in its determination to reducing the rate and fatality of road traffic crashes, not only in Nigeria, but within the West African sub-region. In Abuja, Kolo Muhammad, NTA News.
Debola Brookslyn Sunday is here with some news around the globe.
Hello and welcome. We begin this segment on environmental issues. Kenyan government has commenced the enforcement of the ban on manufacturing, selling and carrying of plastic bags after years of delay. Offenders are liable to pay fines of $38,000 or 4 years in prison. This development did not go down well with manufacturers who argued that about 80,000 jobs could be lost. A court had earlier rejected a challenge to the ban. In the meantime, thousands of people have been ordered to safety as one of Houston's main rivers overflowed its bank in the grip of the biggest storm in the history of the state of Texas. 5 people are reported dead. Roads turned into rivers as Hurricane Harvey intensifies. Emergency services struggle to cope. Reports from China says India has withdrawn troops from a disputed Himalayan border area, ending weeks-long row. Foreign ministries of both countries confirmed troops were disengaging at Loklam after agreements between them. The row began in mid-June when India opposed a Chinese attempt to extend a border road on the plateau. And a controversial Indian guru convicted of rape on Friday has been sentenced to 10 years in prison. Reports say his followers had set a vehicle on fire before the sentencing, and about 38 people had died in the violence that erupted after Friday's verdict in Panchkula. Gurmeet Ram Singh, who claims to have millions of disciples, was found guilty of raping 2 women in 2002. That's a wrap on this segment. I am Uche Mwizu. The news continues shortly.
Is in Maiduguri to give us the full gist and even more. Hello, Muhammad.
Hello, Laure. Good afternoon, viewers, and welcome to Maiduguri. Inadequate equipment and other facilities have been identified as reasons for the slow pace of enrolling people of Borno State in obtaining national identity card. Maimuna Garba has a situation report.
The enrollment exercise commenced last year, January, in Borno State
and since then only over 100,000 people have been registered in spite of the large turnout of people on daily basis trooping into the National Identity Management Commission's office to be registered. While Yobe State, which commenced the exercise at the same time with Borno State, has registered over 400,000 people now. There is only one office conducting the exercise for the residents of Borno State, apart from the two special centers requested by University of Maiduguri and Kashim Ibrahim College of Education for their staff. However, a visit to the Commission's office shows that people stay long before being enrolled due to few functional machines, poor network service, and other operational challenges.
They don't attend to us on time, so we have to come and queue up and wait for a long period of time before we are being attended to.
The Commission should try their best and make sure that they increase the number of the people.
Borno State Coordinator Zamani Yaksha called on people to be patient.
Calling on the Borno State government to come to our aid by assisting us so that we can open more centers, so that we can enroll more people for the national identity card.
The exercise is a continuous one. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
Borno State government has embarked on evacuation of drainage in Maiduguri metropolis and Jere local government area towards averting flood as a result of increase in the rainfall pattern. Yagub Subukar reports.
The evacuation of drainages by the State Environmental Protection Agency will cover Bolori, Lambukarkacha, Kaswongwaza, Abaganaram Market and New Prison areas, among other areas prone to flooding in Maiduguri metropolis. The supervisor Shatima Hassan appealed for support of community leaders for the success of the exercise and commended Borno State government for giving desired attention to issues that affect the public. He enjoined the public to desist from indiscriminate dumping of refuse in drainages. The supervisor disclosed that the evacuation exercise is a communal one aimed at maintaining clean environment. Residents of Maiduguri appreciated efforts of government in ensuring that people live in a clean and healthy environment and appealed for the construction of roads and drainage network in the area. In Maiduguri, Yagum Subukar, NTA News.
That's the size of our contribution from Maiduguri. It is back to Lore in Abuja.
Many thanks, Muhammad. And talking sports, more Super Eagles players arrive Uyo camp as